Kieran Donaghy, good morning to you. How you doing?
Morning, Gerard. Morning, on.
I don't know if you'd already heard what Billy Morgan had to say there. As somebody who's been involved with Tralee this year, what level of access do you have to players, and what are the different forces that are pulling on the players?
I suppose you've access to guys all the time that aren't on any other teams. But I think when it comes to county under 20s, county seniors, and I suppose in the early part of the year in Kerry anyway, I don't know what it's like, but in Tralee, the county championship, the East Kerry championship, the South Kerry championship, the North Kerry championship, these are all very parochial and important competitions, and guys that are playing in them, it's seen as almost as important as county championship. So look, I agree with Billy. It is something that's going to have to be looked at, because it is a great competition. I've really enjoyed the boys give me great effort this year in trying to be at trainings. But it's they're serving 2 or 3 masters, and like we picked up a few injuries now from Wednesday to the Sunday before our game. We lost 4 defenders. Gavin Crowley got injured with Temple Oak playing the All-Ireland semi-final, which he's obviously going to have to play in on the Saturday. We 2 county players get injured at county training on the Thursday, and we had another guy get sick with the mumps, and so you lose 4 starting backs between Thursday and Sunday morning, and you're trying to reshuffle teams, and it is hard, it's difficult, and the prep is difficult. I agree with Billy, like they're not back to college till Monday, whatever Monday has gone by. So you're trying to get them to come down and come down from long distances. We guys from Meath and Wicklow that made long journeys to train with us. So it's a tough one. It's a great competition, and the kids love playing in it. It's the college, it's the best days of their lives if they can play and make new friends. But it is being made continually harder by Croke Park and the fixturing of McGrath Cups and McKenna Cups and these games that are just there's no need of them. We see counties pulling out of them, which probably says enough about them due to eligibility issues. But it is a hard thing to do, and you see fellas taking risks. You see Malay there with Galway, with Corofin. You saw just guys taking big risks to play. Their teams are playing in Croke Park. Diarmuid O'Connor there from the Gael, his team are playing in Croke Park next week, and he came on for UCC at the weekend to help his mates and his college team over the line, because it's such a big competition, the defending champions. But if he picked up an injury there, he'd miss out in Croke Park, which would be an awful shame for a young player.
Kieran, in the Irish News yesterday, Cara O'Kane had a piece on this, and it was questioning the involvement of intercounty players in the Sigerson Cup. He said the Sigerson Cup is very much a participant sport. Crowds at the games are pitiful. It's holding players, the pressure puts them under, and its status in the calendar are all vastly disproportionate to its value. Let it be what it wants to be or needs to be at this stage, a social event for the average footballers who have left home and find their ties to the GAA slipping. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't agree with it. I think again, like whatever fun GA players have in their lives when they're young, it's been snapped away enough by being on an intercounty panel, because you can't, you have to dedicate your life to it from November, October, with some crowds that start back or over the winter. These guys, whatever we look at the calendar and have a yearly calendar, whenever these games are in place, firstly, I would be saying that maybe you bring it to November or something, and yeah, the guys that are playing in the club championships in the run-up might be a bit unlucky and maybe miss out on it. But I would say if you're on a county squad and you're in college, and whatever time the Sigerson is on, that you're solely with the Sigerson for training and games, and once you're out of the Sigerson or you're finished, you jump back into the county. You still have, we're talking about December here, and we're talking about December, January, or if it was put to November or whatever. But the big games in intercounty, the real big games happen in May, June, July, and August now, which is 5 or 6 months away. My last 3 years I was playing basketball up until April. To have young fellas trying to train and trying to play Sigerson and trying to. I also know what it feels like as a player, and I was very clear to my group at the time that I was going to put no pressure on anybody to be anywhere. It was your call. I've been the guy that has had football guys asking me to play football, or basketball guys asking me to play basketball, or that whole conflict of two masters needing you to play a game. And it's a very bad place to be as a player. You feel like you're letting down a manager, one, you're letting down a group, two. So I said to them from a very early stage that you play what you need to play. We're here. We're trying to prepare as best we can, and you do as you see fit.
You want the competitions to succeed and to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're historically great competitions, and they're there, and they are brilliant competitions. We had a massive crowd. I don't know what Carl was talking. We had a massive crowd in Arsenal Tex Park on Saturday with some great players on show from both teams, and some great football played on a very good pitch. So I think. Is it lost in everything? Is it getting enough media exposure? Are some of these games, do people know who's playing in some of these games? Maybe not. But I would certainly disagree with his point about kind of that this is a social. There's nothing social about it. It's guys trying to win a Sigerson Cup, trying to represent their college as best they can, and trying to make friends. That you're going to have friends at your club, and you're going to have friends if you're a county player. But to see some of the bonds that I witnessed inside the group from fellas from Tralee being very good friends with Wicklow guys, driving to training together. In 10 years they could be probably at each other's weddings. That's a good camaraderie level to have and an experience to have. And I think it's something that should be not swept under the rug, and look to give it a month where the GAA says whoever's named on a Sigerson panel is just to be allowed playing that Sigerson panel until the team is finished.
Yeah, in Cara's piece, he says it should become a social event. He says it's almost, they take it too seriously at the moment, I think is his point. Like, I'd agree with you, Kieran. I think that if we have a period where the Sigerson and Fitzgibbon Cups are actually in the spotlight, it would make it a much better thing, because if we're watching these games, the standard is better than most of the club games that people tune in their thousands for during the weekends of the winter, that perhaps if the pre-season competitions didn't exist at the moment and the Sigerson and Fitzgibbon Cup were the only thing kind of occupying the young footballers of the country who happen to be in college, then we might actually have a better situation, because I think there is value in the competition. There is also an appeal to the neutral, because there's good quality football played.
Yeah, absolutely. You take them county fixtures, these cups that shouldn't be going on at this time of year. It's madness in my eyes, to be honest. I think teams be far better off training and playing internal trial matches where managers can get to see everybody, or just train away and prepare as best you can for the league. I think these games are getting in the way, and they're very awkward to deal with. And it's something that teams don't need to be focused on as a McGrath Cup game or a McKenna Cup game. And you're right, the media spotlight is on them because people have waited since the championship last year to see a lot of these players in action. And if Sigerson was center stage with the quality footballers that are on a lot of these college teams, I think people would make their way to a Sigerson game on a Sunday to see an array of inter-county players from all over the country, guys that you mightn't be sure of, and you go away learning stuff about guys that you aren't sure of, and then maybe watching out for them in the year ahead of whatever county they're playing on because you saw them play a Sigerson match and they blew you away. So, look, that's on.
One last question for you. The rule changes, obviously you get a first-hand look at exactly how they're going to impact the game in terms of sin bin and black card and that kind of stuff. What did you make of all that?
Yeah, well, look, we lost to Carlow IT, who were fantastic on the day, and who outran us late on. We were up 5 points, and they did extraordinarily well and took great chances, took their goals well to unfortunately pip us at the post. But we got a black card with about 9 or 10 minutes to go, and losing that guy off the pitch you know, they were able to put an extra body back in defence. Then we lost another guy with like 3 or 4 minutes to go. And it had a much bigger effect than the old black card rule anyway. That's one. There wasn't too many marks, and you know, I think there is a lot being made about the mark, whether it's a good or a bad thing. And I think there will be stages that'll be used this year, but I don't for one second think it's going to take away guys winning a ball, corner forwards, and guys taking on their men. I think guys that'll take on their men will take on their men always. It's more natural to them. I think the mark may encourage, you know, that when a ball does go in long in around the house, that a guy can go up now and solely focus on trying to catch the ball. Because look, I've been that soldier that has caught a ball in around the square and landed and had 5 fellas around me, and I get called for over carrying because I can't go anywhere. I can't get the ball out to anybody. I can't get a kick on it myself. And there's nothing more frustrating later on in the game when you make a big catch and you land and there's bodies everywhere. So I think that's something that, you know, teams will look to do, that, you know, if they do put the ball, if they do put it in around the house, you get your half forwards crashing, and if you can catch it and pass it off to one of them, great. But if it's late on in the game and you're looking for a score and you catch it and there's a lot of bodies around, you put up your hand and you knock it over the bar and you try to pin a team in the press again. So, you know, I think I don't know how much. I don't think it's going to slow up the game as much as people are saying. Maybe it will. Maybe situationally it will. Maybe if you're trying to hold on to a game, fellas start looking for marks. But it's a 20-yard foot pass on the full. We don't see too many of them. Carlo had a lovely one against us where they went down the right hand side of the pitch. They reversed it back out, and they had a guy sitting outside the 45, and he kicked it straight across the 45. So just the guy was only like, he was 2 yards outside the 45. The other guy was 2 yards inside the 45.
Yeah.
But they were 20 yards away, and he didn't mark it. And he took a shot at the goal, and it was a nice play. So there is stuff to look at there where, you know, we were dropping a guy in off the weak side to help, you know, the defenders inside the full back line there, and they popped it out and they hit that guy that we dropped off of. So, you know, I had to kind of make an adjustment at half time and tell fellas to make sure that they stayed, you know, don't be too far off your man where they can do that crossfield mark. So, you know, that opened up more space probably inside on us, that we were kind of still having to watch guys that were in that area where the ball was around the 45. You still had to be tight outside. So it did create more space for guys inside. And Carlo did exploit that. They got a penalty late on where they played a great ball from outside the 45 into a 2-on-2. And we conceded a penalty, which, you know, ultimately put us under pressure to win the game. So it's definitely them two did have an effect on the game. And I think, you know, you will see a lot of it in the league where it will be a huge talking point about how teams are adapting to these rules. And I think teams will figure it out over the next 3 or 4 months. And I think come championship, guys will have their identity about it.
All right, looking forward to more conversations about that and exactly what the changes are. Kieran, great stuff this morning. Thanks a million for joining us.
Thanks, Chair.